Oh, we've already started and we fucked up.
And there's the audio clip. Cool. Yeah. So let's have a go at this and see what happens. I'll let you start.
That's not a good idea.
Why?
Right, well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening where we are first trying out the It's Just Not, we can't even say it, it's not just a phase for the first time. First time trying this out. So trial and error within the first 38 seconds. Wonderful. How are you?
That's quite impressive. I'm not too bad, thank you. I've had a good busy day, which is good. So yeah, all good. Having a good week though. I got a load of CDs arrived today, so that's really exciting.
What have we got coming?
Um, it was a vinted lot that I bought, and so there's loads, everything: Septic Flesh, Cold, Fields and Nephilim, Marduk, Mayhem, all sorts of wonderful stuff. Keep of Kalesson. Is that how you say it? Keep of Kalesson?
Have you already got them? Was that what you're just looking through there?
Yeah.
Oh, you've already got them?
Yeah.
I thought that you meant they were on the way.
No, they arrived today.
Mm-hmm.
Catatonia. Yeah. So it's
It's that Catatonia with a K, not the late 90s Mulder and Scully road rage one.
No, not them.
Not them, no. Just throwing the other one out.
Quite a few ones that I don't know, like this one.
I don't know what that is.
see
You're just
the
holding it up to the
reflection.
screen. There's a reflection. It's just a black screen, so it could be any metal band.
Eternal Majesty,
Mm-hmm.
Cold. That one, that's a band that doesn't exist. Dranga?
Dranga.
Yeah. It's it's good. So yeah, and yesterday I did say to you on message the other day, didn't I? I briefly called into the CG's record store in Taunton.
Yes, not heard of that one, but sounds good.
It was really, really cool, and they've got loads of stuff on there. They've got like 4 whole sections for extreme metal, and then all the other stuff as well. So that was quite cool to see that. And I got some Emperor and some Genna and something else I can't remember now. But yeah, got Anthems of the Welcome on Dusk
Nice.
in picture vinyl,
Very nice.
picture disc. Yeah, so that was cool. What have you
What
been
was-
up to?
Up to in general,
Yeah.
I have been really tired with work, but I have been listening to a lot of stuff recently. I'm mainly going down an insomnium rabbit hole at the moment, but really
Cool.
enjoying melodic death metal. So the Shadows of the Dying Sun album, Argent Moon EP, and Songs of the Dusk EP,
Yeah.
which probably the most melodic ones by them. I mean, a super fan will tell me I'm wrong, but to me, those are the ones that I've really been enjoying at the moment. Just that sort of like Northern European melodic death metal. I mean, they're Finland, I believe, and I've just found out I'm actually been accepted for a hike in Finland next year, in like August or
Oh,
September.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's like 10 hours a day in Finland. Never been there,
Oh, cool.
so I'll
That'd
be
be
looking
amazing.
for any trace of Insomnium and Children of Odin while I'm there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. How long is it for? What's it? What is the hike?
It is part of a course I'm doing, a sort of natural healing course I'm doing at the moment, and it's one of the things organised through them. And I
wicked.
noticed it when I was on one of the weekends in June. I noticed it, and it's one of the things you have to be accepted to. So that's pretty cool. So I basically just got to get my fitness levels up again. I mean, I've done a lot of walking before, but just try and do even more now because this has been led. So it's not like I can just go, right, I'm tired of stopping.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. How many days walking is it? Or hiking is it?
Oh god, I think it's 10. I think it's
10
10.
days.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
which considering the last long walk I did, the first 10 were the most awful. So we'll see how this goes.
And that was this walk in Spain, wasn't it?
That was the Camino, yeah. That was a big one 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago now. That's terrifying. But that's gone
How
by
long did
really
that-
fast.
How long did that walk take?
That was 33 days with one break day, so 34.
Wow.
That was long. Yeah, that was a long walk. Worth it. Worth it. Do remember seeing a metal store called Black Metal on like the 5th day, and I was too tired to go in. even though it's just around the corner from my hostel. I was like, I'm just not going to appreciate this.
Oh, cool. So this is the podcast. Should we talk a bit about the podcast and what we want to do?
Yeah, I think purpose of it would be good, wouldn't it? Because this was something you thought up one random day. I just got a message from you about it. I thought, here, we had another idea.
I meant that in a good way. I'm not so good at the execution. So Adam and I went to school together from when we were about 12 or 13.
10. I moved to Somerset when I was 10.
About 12 or 13.
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah, it's closer than we are now.
Yes. And I think we both got into sort of fairly heavy music. Well, we certainly got into music quite young. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason we've called it Not Just a Phase is because it was, I think at certain points our parents certainly both hoped that it was just a phase.
Raiding your mum's nail varnish remover. That's when they think it's a phase. Keeping hair wax in the fridge just so it goes even sturdier.
Ripping t-shirts and to drive us around to all sorts of local gigs at all sorts of unsavoury hours and times and places. Cool. I think that was the start of a pretty incredible friendship, and we go to quite a few gigs each year together, and it'd just be quite a nice way to catch up every week, month, fortnight, 6 monthly, yearly, whatever we end up doing this as. So that was sort of why I thought of doing it.
And inflicting it upon you poor people.
Yeah, but maybe, somebody might...
Somebody might appreciate the rambles. I don't know what you were going to say. So we're at the point of talking about various gigs we were at and inflicting this on other people, because I think it was more like just the random conversations we go off. And it's one of those things where the way we talk about music now is still very much how we would in the enthusiastic way we would have done in teens, when back then it was still, it might not have been the tape trading of like the late 80s, early 90s, but it was still very much late 90s, early 2000s, before broadband, before smartphones, before... Well, I can't even remember when my family got a router. Or what would it have been? It wouldn't have been a router back then. What would it have been? Yeah, I guess it was. The one that had dial-up, where it's sort of like, you're not using it until after 6 p.m. And then only for less than an hour, otherwise it charges us. So we didn't really have the internet
59 minutes,
for a while.
And then you have to cut off.
Yeah, then you could start again. But it was like having free
VHSs.
VHSs.
Do you remember
LimeWire? Well, that was a bit further on, but like before that, it was either getting music from friends' older brothers and sisters, or videos and CDs free with Kerrang and Rock Sound and Metal Hammer.
Yeah.
Those are like the gateway magazines for me, those three. Then it went sort of down a more extreme path with metal and sort of like, what was it? Big Cheese with punk, which I don't think exists anymore. Big Cheese magazine from like 2000 and 2001.
Even Metal Hammer's quite hard to find places now.
Well, W.H. Smith used to be the one you go in and you'd find loads of music magazines. And every time I go through it in town, it's like, well, Terrorize has disappeared. Zero Tolerance disappeared
TJ
ages
Hughes
ago.
now, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, well, that's what it shows up on my bank statement. I freaked out the first time I saw that. So I don't even know where this place is, let alone spending money there. And I had to find out that they changed. But and the music magazines there, they just don't, the range isn't as much as they used to be. Because it always used to be exciting going to Smith's, because it was sort of like, you got your comics, you got your music magazine. So for me, as a teenager, I was spoiled for choice. But now there's a lot of comics, but I've sort of drifted away from that. But music magazines, not as many. But that was like the excitement when younger. Just like, I think that was one of the things we wanted to make this about, like how we talk about the excitement of having to wait, that mystery of a lot of bands, and not knowing that another band had an album coming out until there was just this random article in a magazine, like, oh, bloody hell, it's coming out. Like, I remember AFI, for example, like Sing the Sorrow came out in 2003, but I seem to remember a Kerrang article in like 2001 saying the top 10 bands who've got albums coming out this year to look out for. There was just a picture of AFI at their Art of Drowning sort of look, with Davey Habit with like the devil lock across his face, all of them in black and everything.
AFI have had a few different phases, are you?
No, he definitely does not look like the dodgy uncle you keep away from every family celebration right now. definitely not. I mean, that's one phase he hasn't done yet, so it was bound to happen eventually. But I haven't even listened to them for a while. Oh no, I tried the new album. It's good, but it's not good for them. But
I
anyway,
have heard some rumours about them being a headliner for Download, I think it was, next year.
They really headliner material these days? Maybe one of the smaller stages, not the big stage.
I don't know. It was just a rumour I heard somewhere. Can't remember where that was now.
I personally don't believe that rumour, but I might be eating my words next year or whenever we are in the year right now. July. It's been Download, hasn't it? It'll be next year.
Yeah. 2027.
Yeah. Wonder if Slipknot will be headlining it again. It'll just be Sean left by then. But
we're not going down that rabbit hole this year.
No, not yet. No. That's a whole different episode. That's going to be a long episode.
That's a series of episodes in its own, I think.
Yeah, each one beginning with a different letter of Sean's name. We're doing the double name. But yeah, I remember seeing that article for AFI and just like waiting in 2001. Then it didn't come out till 2003 because he didn't have social media, so you couldn't keep up with them recording. It might just be like a random article where it's like, we caught up with them in a recording studio. Like, bloody hell, I didn't know they were going to do this. And then things like that. But the excitement of that is something we talk about a lot, like the mystery of the bands we get into. And we feel that that's not really there as far as we can tell anymore because we're not in our teens in the era of now. But I know every generation says this, but I feel there wasn't such a huge difference between the 60s, 70s and 80s because it was, well, maybe things moving to CD, but that's not such a huge difference as moving from CD and cassette like we were right to where we are now with Spotify, YouTube, instant access. I mean, hell, even AI music, which again, I don't want to go down, but I'm just saying like that's such a huge contrast between when we were younger compared to what might have been the case for people who had CDs and their parents had CDs. But it's just they considered their CDs to be a bit more rebellious. I see that as quite not so big a leap as the leap you and I went through.
I think, and there's some bits that have been lost along the way as well, haven't they? Things like mini discs that came about for, I think they were around for about 4 weeks before Sony decided to scrap them.
Even that's quite optimistic. But I never had one of those.
I didn't remember there was a guy at school, Dan. No, they're sort of like thick floppy disks, weren't they? Not that people now know what floppy disks are. But I was talking to a customer today.
YouTube will edit it.
I was talking to a customer today about something or other and realised, I can't remember, it was something about 2004, 2005 or something. And they were like, yeah, I wasn't born until 2006. I was like, blimey. Things have changed. Makes me feel old.
Yeah. But
I'm not as old as you, so that's right.
No, that 3 days makes all the difference. But yeah, I think one of the reasons from this is like we talk about it's not necessarily like Last of the Summer Wine reminiscing, but it is like looking back, but also enjoying the now as well. Like I still like discovering new stuff. Like recently discovered I say recently, it was about a couple of months ago, discovered that YouTube channel that I can't remember her name. But she does that new Metal Mondays, and that was really
Lindsay.
Good. That narrows it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely the first name. But yeah, that channel, and that was really cool because it's discovering new stuff again, because it's very, very easy to get stuck in, this is what I liked, this is what I like, and I don't want to hear anything new. And I definitely find that I struggle to find new stuff that I'm really into. But when I do, it's amazing. Like, I remember a few years ago when you and me went to see Cradle of Filth and they had the Sport Man Alcest. And I know you really didn't like them, but for me, that was like one of the biggest. I'm not sure if you really didn't like them, but you didn't like them as much as I did. But I got massively into them, and now I consider them one of my favourite bands just because of every album is very different and very creative. And it's strange how they sort of like bridge the gap between elements of the music being black metal sometimes, but then they got really relaxing sort of like dreamy post-rock sound, and I just think that's really cool. And they're probably not the only band that does that, but for me it came along at exactly the right time where I was sort of like, wow, didn't know that I was missing this kind of music in my life. But so sometimes, even though you feel like you are stuck in your ways, certain bands will come along that just shake you up a bit and like, wow, this is what I want to discover more and more about. Or like, even if it's one that you've been aware of for a long time but never took the time to get into. Like, I still feel like I'm on the edge of that with Deftones, because when they were around when we were younger, I had the Adrenaline album. I didn't really care about the White Pony album, and now I think it's amazing. So they're one of those bands that I've learned to appreciate more as an adult, like literally in the last 2 years. So I feel like I've missed out on so much of their career. But the good thing of that is there's so much to look back on and discover.
Yeah. And it is still quite exciting, isn't it, when you find a new band? Like I've recently had it with Winter Philith, because of
oh god,
you and going to
right up there with one of my favourites.
Blackbeard show.
Blackbeards, Blackberries.
Yeah, less said about them the better, probably. But but Winter Philith were incredible, and I'm sort of going down a rabbit tunnel with them. Rabbit tunnel, is that the right phrase? Rabbit
it is
hole.
now. Yeah, the Mercian Sphere. Yeah, the Mercian Sphere. That's such a good album. Yeah. Well, all of them are good. It's hard to pick a favourite, but that one's definitely got my favourite tracks on it.
But I do find that Spotify Radio is quite good for finding new stuff. So I don't know about you, but I use Spotify in a bit of an odd way, and I use it to find new stuff, and then I tend to try and get the physical copy of it if it's something that I really like, or I might add it to a list to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, because I'm limited to... The weird thing is, like, I'm in the middle of a small city, you're in the middle of nowhere, and you tend to find more obscure CDs than I do, because I'm not in a particularly creative city. Like, the one shop we've got that sells CDs, well, that would be a lie. There are 2 shops that sell CDs. There is an indie one, an independent one, but it doesn't really have a metal or contemporary alternative section. It's more like 80s backwards, which is not bad, but if you want something from 80s forward, it's really hard to find. And then we've got HMV, which is convenient, but it doesn't really have more of your obscure releases. So there's no I'd have to go to like Taunton or Bristol or something to find shops specialising in a whole range of metal and like heavier rock.
But I think even Taunton has Taunton got an HMV? I can't remember.
I have no idea. The most I ever see of Taunton's the train station these days.
But I think having, I spent a bit of time growing up in Bristol, and there used to be 3 or 4 independent CD shops that would all have new releases in the centre, plus 2 HMVs and 2 or 3 Virgin megastores. And now
Western
there is one HMV.
Western Supermare had Tower Records until they went bust. I definitely remember getting some of those. They were in the little shopping centre there, which I know is still there, but I can't remember what it's called. Martian Records
Dolphin
was there?
Square.
Yeah, Dolphin Square, that's that. No. Yeah. There was Dolphin Square, there definitely was, because I remember going there a lot, because the market and everything in there. But is it the galleries where the car park is, and there's like...
yes.
Off the high street. Yeah, there was Tower Records in there.
Not the gallery, Sovereign Centre.
That's the one, Sovereign Centre, yeah.
The galleries is Bristol.
Yes.
Which is where Virgin was. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's quite a ramble. Should we? What's that? 15 minutes for the first one. Should we wrap that up there? Or is there anything else you want? We didn't really make a.
I think what's going to be happening on this is initially we're going to be finding our feet, because right now we're starting out. It's literally just recording conversations, and it's amazing how when you listen to people who do this a lot, it sounds like, oh, it sounds so natural, and it's like they probably did a lot of prep work, and there are a lot of outtakes and things like that. So
like we're
finding, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the best we've got. Sorry, everyone. So basically,
it gets worse. We're gonna,
yeah, I certainly hope so. And we will be having a theme. Like, we'll probably come up with an idea for each one. So it might be, what was the music of Jackass? Or like, are we going to talk about pop punk this week? Are we going to talk about metal? Are we going to talk about what we listened to in summer as kids? Or what led us to dressing all in black? Or why were the Murder Dolls so good for a little while and then disappeared? That kind of thing. Like, we might come up with that. Like, they were amazing. I mean, I don't want to go down another thing here, but like 2002, they were like everywhere. And
they were literally beyond the valley.
They were. They said it themselves. They slapped it on the CD cover. But but like that kind of thing. So we're going to have like themed episodes, and no doubt they will go off on tangents. Can't promise how long each episode's going to be. This one's a short one. Who knows? The rest could be like hours. I don't know how long we've got. If like if you keep receiving takeaways and I keep getting poor signal, I'm just going to get jealous and order takeaway of my own.
That's right. Somebody's arriving for the campsite in a minute as well, so that'd be.
Well, they're taking that away, are they?
They're not having my takeaway. I know that much.
They may have taken my campsite, but you'll never take my poppadoms. The West Country Braveheart.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think something else I'd quite like to get into is all the stuff that surrounded the music. I think I don't know whether you call it teen culture or what, but you mentioned Jackass there, but things like that
was very much about us.
The takeoff of skateboarding and to a lesser extent for me, but computer games and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the parties we used to have and sort of that whole time. I think we were very lucky.
Yeah, I think we were one of the last generations to really have that freedom of parents not knowing where you are and that sort of be home at such and such a time kind of thing, rather than them being able to phone everyone or track you or all the things that parents apparently do now, that kind of thing. And I think, or not even having that interaction with friends, it was like in person. And it was like a real mystery discovery because you hadn't seen it online first. And it's not going to be a sort of like ours was better way, because people, I mean, it was, but we're not going to be enforcing that. That's the ones I would say. But it is like, it's appreciating your time. And I hope that's what people will take from this, is like our appreciation for our time will hopefully help people see their own time in a less take it for granted way, or like look back and think, God, that was really good for when I was growing up, everything as well. So our way, it was the best, certainly. But I hope everybody learns to see theirs as the best as well. And also listens to us talking
most of it, isn't it? And
and hearing us talk crap about anything that's been happening that day before we flip back to talking about stuff that probably happened 20 years ago. No, that was 2006, over 20 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And stay away from what?
I was going to say stay away from politics, but by saying let's stay away from politics, I'm sort of talking about politics.
Yeah, let's not go down that path.
No.
Maybe if we're both having a bad day, we will a bit. Throw a few little things in. But I'm not going to deliberately do it because I really want this to be an escape from all that.
Yes. Yeah, that's the idea. Just enjoy it. Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Right, until next time, everybody.
Yeah, I'll see you when you're older.
Bye-bye.